That report you were supposed to finish? That workout you promised yourself you'd start? Or maybe that exam's preparation you've been avoiding. We've all been there, stuck in the seemingly endless loop of, I'll do it later. This is the land of procrastination, a place we all visit, but for some, it's a permanent residence. But what if I told you that procrastination isn't just about being lazy? It's a complex psychological battle going on inside your own brain. What's up, everyone? You are watching Learning Psychology, and today we are going to deep dive into psychology of procrastination. So what exactly is procrastination? It's the voluntary delay of an intended course of action, despite knowing that the delay will have negative consequences. It's that internal conflict where you know you should be doing something, but you just can't bring yourself to start. The brain on procrastination. To understand why we procrastinate, we need to look inside our brain. It's a battle between two key parts of your brain, the limbic system and the prefrontal cortex. The limbic system is your brain's emotional and pleasure center. It's the part that craves immediate gratification and wants to avoid anything unpleasant. Think of it as a toddler who wants what it wants and right now. On the other side, you have the prefrontal cortex. This is the more evolved part of your brain, responsible for planning, decision-making, and self-control. It helps in thinking about long-term goals and consequences. When you're faced with a task you find boring or difficult, or maybe stressful, your limbic system says, danger, discomfort ahead. Let's do something fun instead, like playing games. Your prefrontal cortex tries to reason with it, saying, but this is important for our future. The problem is that limbic system is more powerful in this situation, and it often wins this tug of war. This is why giving in to procrastination can feel like an immediate relief in the short term. For a long time, we thought procrastination was a failure of time management. But today research suggests it's actually a problem with emotional regulation. We procrastinate to avoid negative feelings associated with a task, such as anxiety, self-doubt, boredom, or frustration. We want to avoid challenges. For example, a big project at work might make you feel overwhelmed and anxious about failing. So, you put it off to avoid those feelings. Psychological traps that fuel procrastination. Two major psychological traps that fuel procrastination are perfectionism and decision paralysis. Perfectionists often set impossibly high standards for themselves. The fear of not being able to meet these standards can be so paralyzing that they never even start. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. By procrastinating, they create the very conditions, a last-minute rush, that make it impossible to produce perfect work. Then there's decision paralysis. Have you ever stood in the grocery store aisle, overwhelmed by the sheer number of yogurt options? That's decision paralysis, and it can happen with our tasks too. When we have too many choices or a task seems too complex, we can get stuck in a state of overthinking, unable to decide where to begin. This inability to choose often leads to choosing nothing at all. Types of procrastination. There are various types of procrastination, such as the worrier. You're afraid to start because you worry so much. You fear you won't succeed. The anxiety of potential failure is so great that it's easier not to try at all. Perfectionist. You delay starting because you're afraid your work won't be flawless. For you, if it can't be perfect, it's not worth doing at all. The crisis maker. You tell yourself you work best under pressure. You leave everything to the last minute for that adrenaline rush, even though it often leads to more stress and lower quality work. The overdoer. You say yes to everything and then become so overwhelmed by your long to-do list that you don't know where to start. So what type of procrastinator are you? Tell me in the comments how to break free from this cycle. Here are some psychology-backed strategies. First of all, you need to understand that procrastination is a habit and habits can be changed. 1. The 2-minute rule. Task is often hardest to start. The 2-minute rule, popularized by author James Clear of famous book Atomic Habits, suggests that when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Want to read more? Just read 1 page. Want to exercise? Just put on your workout clothes. The idea is to make it so easy to start that you can't say no, because once you start, there is a very high chance that you're going to continue. 2. Break it down. Large tasks can feel overwhelming, which is a major trigger for procrastination. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a highly effective treatment for procrastination, recommends breaking large projects into smaller, more manageable steps. This makes the task seem less daunting and gives you a sense of accomplishment as you check off each small part. You must use to-do list apps available for free. 3. Temptation building. This strategy involves pairing something you love with a task you procrastinate on. For example, only listen to your favorite podcast while you're cleaning the house, or only watch your favorite show once you're done with the workout. This makes the unpleasant task more appealing. 4. Practice self-compassion. Being harsh on yourself for procrastinating can actually make it worse by creating a cycle of shame and avoidance. Research shows that forgiving yourself for past procrastination can help you move on and be more productive. So instead of self-criticism, try a little self-compassion. 5. Embrace mindfulness. Mindfulness, the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, can be a powerful tool against procrastination. It helps you recognize the uncomfortable feelings that trigger your procrastination without immediately reacting to them. Studies have shown a negative correlation between mindfulness and procrastination. The more mindful people are, the less they tend to procrastinate. Lastly, if you struggle with procrastination, know that you're not alone. In fact, history is filled with famous procrastinators who still managed to achieve great things. Do you know it took Leonardo da Vinci, the genius behind the Mona Lisa, about 16 years to finish his most famous masterpiece? Victor Hugo, the author of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, would have his servant take away his clothes to force himself to stay inside and write. And the author Douglas Adams famously said, "I love deadlines. I love the whooshing noise they make as they go by." And here is a bonus tip. You know, you can find so much information online about procrastination, but here is the most genuine tip I can give you that I personally use. When you are procrastinating, just take a deep breath and empty your mind and say to yourself, just do it and start the action. This is the most effective way to stop that thinking and start doing something. But if it's a very serious issue that needs to be addressed, I don't think any strategy would work. You need to address the core issue and make a decision. Then if you start thinking same thing again and again, that's procrastination. Just break the cycle and do it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Your little support on Patreon can really help me produce more amazing content. Until next video, keep learning.